Hey everybody, I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and you are on the lifeboat. And I have co-hosts today. The one with two legs is Vanessa LaRose, and amazingly, this is the first time that you've been on the lifeboat.
Yes,
It
it
is correct.
is.
Yeah, you've never been
Hello
on this
to the
side. Hello, Liz.
lifeboat.
Yeah,
Hi.
very cool.
I'm
And this
watching
is
you folks
probably
every day, but I've never been on here.
not on the camera end of it. Yeah, we've been. I think we've been on film together, but I don't think we've ever been
Yeah, it's
on
fun
film together
to,
here.
it's really a good community to be a part of, and I just enjoy it for support. So that's why we're
Nice.
introducing these other buddies back here.
This subject. I swear to you, I get more emails anytime we end up talking about this. It comes up on like Saturday Night Boat, and then usually mornings where they want to hijack the conversation because they don't like what I'm talking about. We'll end up talking about favorite pets and animals, and it usually, the show sort of gets taken over by the boat. But
It's a fun
everyone,
topic that always makes me feel better, that's for sure.
and anytime it comes up, there's a lot of people that really want to hammer home the point, and I'm one of them, that if you're going to go and get an animal, get one that needs to be rescued. It's just the coolest concept in the entire world, and it should make a lot of sense to everybody in this community, since all of us are animals that need to be rescued. But Vanessa has been doing this for a really long time, and not sort of your run-of-the-mill messing around and helping a couple of animals find homes. This has been a big deal for over a decade, correct? Oh,
Yeah, animal rescue has been. Did I?
You're there. You just sort of came in and out. At least I hope you're there.
Okay.
Pop Grimmer
I'll
20 says
right
I'm okay. All right, we're gonna see if we can get this fixed. And I'm not going to steal any of the thunder that she's going to be talking about. But as you know, the lifeboat kitty Squirrel was a rescue, and I'm not going to lie to you, people. It was that was a day. It was emotional as hell. I mean, truthfully, I remember walking in there, and granted, I've been where I've been, but I would walk in and see animals in cages, and it looked to me like they needed parole in a really big way. There she goes. So hopefully we're going to get her back here when she gets back on the internet. I've been having a lot of drops lately where my mic just goes out. Well, that's not good. That's not good. Why has no one told me? Because that's not good. Yeah, let me know if it continues to happen, please. Salot, absolutely. Thank you, Nick. Nick's a beast. This is a subject matter that is probably, honestly, truthfully, more near and dear to people's hearts on the lifeboat than anything else, because all of us understand the concept of trying to get a love in our life. Happy birthday, Miss V. Honestly, I feel like we ought to be singing a birthday jingle. 36, and I'm at 2,000. Congratulations, Liz. 2,000 subscribers on Liz's channel. Awesome. Fantastic. Oh, that's huge. That is huge. Hold on. The participation trophy. Very, very cool. Very cool. Congratulations. And yeah, absolutely. Salot. Keep us in your thoughts and prayers and positive vibes. And I promise you're going to be all right. ZW, really good to see you. Zen. And maybe just one more first rounds of ones for Zen one, who I know is also going through it. Russ says, somehow I care more about my animals than most people. Unconditional love. Well, that's somehow right there, isn't it? I mean, if that's not, you answered your own question, my brother. I promise you that's exactly what it is unconditional love. There is something about having an animal in your life. That little weasel of a cat, and I promise you, she's a little weasel of a cat. She is that cat is a handful. She is so loud at night. You've never heard anything like it in your life. She really is an animal that just makes a lot of noise once it gets dark out. And early morning, like between say 4, maybe 3 and 5, it just gets unbelievable. Like she's going to make sure you don't sleep. But the joy that animal has brought to my life. Oh, you're welcome, ZW. Salot, of course. No, Russ, I absolutely get that. I truthfully do. Animals don't let you down. You know what I mean? They don't let you down. And a lot of times in life, Quiet Girl says I wouldn't be able to live without 4 cats and 2 dogs. Seems like a good round number. I think 6 is probably a good solid place to start. Yeah, the coming home to an animal that loves you and has zero. There's no capacity for disappointment, which is really incredible if you think about it. It's and not only that. For me anyway, I swear to you, there's health issues, mad numbers of health issues that Squirrel helps me with. I'm not kidding. If you sit down and pet an animal, there is no chance that you don't end up, your heart rate goes down. You can actually Google all this. This is mad science, but it's the truth. You pet an animal and it changes you. There's also a ton of research out there about people with pets living longer. I mean, stone cold fact. Henry Figueroa says, this is proven facts. It really is. Hello, Christy Colwell. Christy, good to see you. I was halfway through an email to you, Christy. I need to finish and get sent off to you. But currently I'm halfway through. Hello, Freezino. Good to see you. Glad that you're here. Kathy, good to see you. Cosmic Christie, we're picking up speed. Anika Alexander. Hold 1 second, people. John, your phone, please. Terribly sorry. I was talking with my brother. Lene, good to see you. I used to do therapy dog work for 9 years with my Shelties. Fantastic. I watched a dog program in a state prison. That was literally amazing. Do I have a fish tank? Russ, I do not. However, I did at one time have a really, really large fish tank. When Spanky was a boy, we had a huge, it took up a half a wall. It was a 1,000 gallon system. It was 500 gallons that everybody could see. And then there was a 500 gallon tank below that, literally below that, on the other side of the wall, so to speak. And it was just feeders, and it was a sort of like an overflow system. But I bought the entire thing off of the internet when the internet was really young. There was a guy selling off an entire shop full of stuff like that. And he actually brought it to my house and set it up. And then I decided I wanted it in a different room because I honestly was going to have it go through the floor if I didn't move it into the basement. It was scary. Oh, you know what? The water sound is Squirrel's dish. Hold on. You know what? I apologize. What that usually means is that there needs to be There needs to be a lot more water in it. I've let it get down to a level where it makes noise. If I keep the water level high in that, that doesn't happen. So that's me dropping the ball. That cat drinks so much more water in Arizona. It's astounding. I mean, it really is. She's a an indoor kitty that is allowed to go outside if I'm out there because we have a lot of things in this state that are bad for pets. So I will. I'll take her out and hang out with her for an hour outside and let her screw around. My animals are what keep me sane. Boy, I get that. I get that. And what do we have here?
Hi.
Well.
We had to move areas to Elvis's filming stage because of the internet. So we're back
You know
and
what?
even
Perfect.
cuddlier than before.
Nice.
How are
No.
you? What's been happening in here?
Well, the audience is in perfect agreement that without animals, most of us would be pretty miserable. And we were talking a little bit about. I mentioned the early days of going and getting Squirrel. What felt very much to me like getting her out of a cage. Felt I was so fresh out of the joint when I got Squirrel that there was a bond there. I felt like I would have been really happy if somebody could have come and picked me up and taken me home about 6 months into the whole prison thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, I love the whole rescue thing. You've been doing it a decade. I think that's where we cut off where you froze on me. Correct?
Yeah, so I've been working in specifically Los Angeles dog rescue. Sometimes we get cats or litters here or there. I'll rescue a squirrel or a peacock in our neighborhood because we do have wild peacocks occasionally. I'll try to help with some medical or something like that. But we do dog rescue in Los Angeles, and I've been volunteering with just a bunch of great friends who do it for the right reasons, do it for our heart. And it's really nice. We consider ourselves the ones who take the ones that other places won't. A lot of rescue organizations, especially in Hollywood, can be kind of like it's,
Picky?
yeah, it's cool to be seen doing dog rescue, and a lot of people don't necessarily want to get their hands dirty. So I am the one that the shelter managers sometimes call when they have that little dog dragging a leg around and he's grouchy as hell because he hasn't had medical treatment and he's been abused and he's going to be put down, and the manager of the downtown shelter will say, hey, I have someone who's your type. He's spicy. And if I can either take him myself or help arrange for a foster home, then we can actually do something about it because we try to raise funds ahead of time for all of our extensive veterinary bills. And none of us take a paycheck. We just do this as something that we like to do, and we end up meeting really nice people while we're doing it.
You were describing the rock star earlier,
Yeah,
right? You
he's
weren't just you weren't just randomly describing a dog that was rescued. You were describing Elvis.
I was Elvis Presley, the Chihuahua, who is actually sulking. I'm not sure if I got him everything on his rider today. Um,
uh,
I'm not sure what's happening, but his brother, or his foster brother, my dog Bruno Mars, is here. Technically, Elvis is my foster. I've had him quite a while. And I'm a professional at fostering dogs and giving them to beautiful homes so that I can always have a spot open. Uh, but this dog is very special, and he's been with me through actually launching a YouTube channel, speaking up about Scientology and just all of the things that have happened since then. So I feel like this little buddy might just be part of the family, and we'll see.
yeah, that if you've never seen the Elvis cam, um, Vanessa will set up a camera at night so you can watch Elvis, and
I do,
I
yeah.
swear to you, it's addicting.
Yeah,
It really is.
I set up the Elvis cam, and he is really so cute. Like, honestly, so cute. And when the shelter sent photos of this dog, it really didn't do it justice. He was coming from Tulare, California, and I know shelter lady code. And when I hear a dog is grumpy or spicy, I know that that means he's a biter. So it was a coded text, right? Oh, he's just a little grumpy, but he hasn't bit. And it's kind of like you can do a lot to get a dog to not bite you. So it's not really
Like never pick him up.
yeah, but the thing is that if he gets marked a biter, he's not getting out.
Right.
So a lot of dogs, because of their size, we just don't have places for them in Los Angeles. Our rent is so expensive, and it's really
Yeah.
hard to find dog-friendly places. And then start taking the bigger breeds, which really need the help. So when we get a tiny one, we are like, all right, if they're a biter, that like usually we just say no, but my rescue knows that I might say yes.
Yeah. A
So
softie.
yeah, he's been the guy who has been attacking me and lunging at me, but now loves love, and it's kind of lovely to watch him on camera at night when I set up the camera, because I just wish y'all could experience the pure hatred and growling that was coming out of this dog when I first met him, but he wasn't feeling well. And he had a bum leg he was dragging around, and he had cancer that was undiagnosed, and he had been on the streets. He was found in an abandoned apartment complex, so who knows how long he had been there. But he had a broken leg in 3 places that had healed. So
Sorry.
it's okay.
The not only is the dog a rock star, but he's a fighting cancer. It really is amazing. 3 legs. This dog runs at top speed, and you've never seen an animal anywhere on planet Earth that is happier in the sun. That dog honestly looks like he gets drugged. He when he gets into the sun, he just sort of does this trance thing. It's actually really funny to watch. That dog has more potential on YouTube than I do.
Me too. He's actually he's beating my views when we're doing things about the Church of Scientology and the abuses that we've been through as second gens, like second generation born in people who have spoken out, who are at the protest this weekend. You know, this dog sleeping is getting more views than that topic. So I'm not quite sure how the algorithms are working right now. But I'm not mad at it, honestly. If Elvis could just be on camera and I could just chill and then talk about like our stuff sometimes, but just cuddle him, I'd be happy with that.
Well, so what's the biggest struggle? Obviously, finding places to put animals is a difficult thing. Is the size issue one of the bigger hurdles?
Yeah. It's a big hurdle. And you know what I found out afterwards? Because the code thing, his name at the shelter. And I thought you'd think this is funny because you and your brother are all about that pepper life and that pepper scene.
Right.
Which I didn't even know existed. Now I'm like, wow, you guys are wild with all that.
Actually, he's wild and I just get roped into it.
Your brother is a man without fear.
Yes, he is.
But he reminds me of Elvis in the way that he approaches peppers, because I was told after the fact, and I kept asking, what's this dog's name at the shelter? What's this dog's name at the shelter? And they wouldn't tell me. And you know what it was? It was jalapeno.
A little more code speak for the spicy animal.
Exactly. They were like, we know he's spicy as hell. Like, don't lie. And then they'll send, like, the Sweet Rescue Shelter ladies will send just peppers on the screen to me, peppers and hearts. So it's a funny tie-in, all of it. The recovery, the peppers, the dog support.
The dog makes a very unusual sound when people pet him. He sort of communicates. He does not sound happy, but he gets the happiest look on his face when he does it. It's there you go.
He was being pet, but it's okay, Lexi. Here, we'll give you a little Alexis. The big dog is not always happy when the little dog wants to talk and fight, so we just chill.
A very big dog.
Yeah, come here, Alexis. This is Lexi. She's my human blanket. This morning she got on top of me and just laid. It was really nice. Sometimes we get that comfort we need from our pups, and it's all good.
So there's some German Shepherd there, huh?
Yeah, she's a German Shepherd, and then she's also mixed with Golden Retriever, which is
Really?
called a Golden Shepherd mix. And from the research online, it's pretty funny. They say that they're kind of dogs that have two personalities because one of them's super chill and the other one's super on guard. And she's
Perfect.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly like that. And she's a designer breed that was just down in the shelter in LA waiting.
Well, the chat seems to like Lexi.
She's so cute, actually. She's a good girl.
You know what? I like large dogs too, but I've always had kind of a soft spot in my heart for small dogs. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is, but I got a thing for small dogs.
You
I
know,
the
that's
greatest
something
dog I ever had
special.
was I had a Chihuahua wiener mix, a Chiweenie, a female. She was just an amazing dog, one of the greatest animals ever. More, at times, it might have been a little bit more intelligent than the owner, which became an issue. She was for
That's
real.
always an issue. That's always an issue. Yeah.
I actually caught this dog on a. We left the computer on, and I
Hmm.
caught this dog trying to open the door to the closet with her paws. So she would put her paws on the doorknob and pull it toward her, and then fall off and get back up, and she would do it for hours on end. And when she got into the closet, she would get the 60 or 70 chew toys that we bought all at once. Because we had two dogs, and we'd buy them all at
Yeah.
once and put them away.
Yeah.
And you'd come home and they'd be hidden everywhere. The dog would have stashed. So when you go and round them back up, you're like, this isn't even close. You know, not even close. But
Alexis likes to find Elvis's props for when I put him on camera and just take them from him on camera, though. Like, she'll be subtle until this audience is watching, and then she'll go up and punk him for like his pizza toy or something. It's kind of funny, but he lets her because she just like has to.
I mean,
But
you really could not find two dogs that just look more different next to each other.
they're
You
best
know,
friends, though. Like,
I know
it's
that's
actually
amazing.
so sweet to see them cuddling. And I mean, they don't cuddle, they just kind of lay next to each other, I guess.
Who have you had the longest?
Lexi. Oh, of all my dogs?
Yeah,
Stella. Stella I've
Stella.
had for 12 years. She was dropped off in a cardboard box on the street in downtown Los Angeles. She was 5 weeks old, and so the rescue I was working with at the time bottle fed her. And I had met her brother, and I thought, oh my gosh, this dog is so cute. And my special guy Sammy, who was by my side for so long, he had just passed, but this little tiny puppy looked just like Sammy, but it was a
Uh,
little boy. And I thought, well, I'll meet the little girl. And then I met Stella, and she fit in the palm of my hand. And
oh
I'd never
wow,
had a puppy before. So it was because I always rescue. Like, I just don't
right?
think I needed a puppy because I do litters, but not for myself. Like, I like the ones with a little character, like this guy right here. And those are the ones that are harder to place. So I tend to not take the puppies and just send the puppies to the families. But Stella's my puppy, and she's been by my side for 12 years. She's my baby and my angel. She's actually my psychiatric service animal.
Nice.
Yeah.
Boy, you know what? I probably need like a half a dozen of those. My cat is a bit of one, but sometimes she also takes you in the other direction. She is a cat.
Yeah. Isn't her name Squirrel?
Is her name is Squirrel, and you know the funny thing about that is, so Squirrel is she's been on the lifeboat. This December coming up, I guess, will be the second. I think the 2nd December with Squirrel. So we've had Squirrel a while, but yeah, I didn't realize that until just recently that has a Scientology tie-in as well. It's
Uh,
correct.
yeah, big time, big time, big time. You didn't, oh my gosh. I thought that was almost planned after we met you from Erin's channel. I thought you
No,
just named your cat Squirrel, like in
no. The
our
funniest
honor.
story. No, the funniest story is we had like 5 names, and we had everybody on the lifeboat vote on the names, and they had come up with the names as well. And because I have been known to start on one subject and end up somewhere completely different that has nothing to do with anything I'm talking about, they thought Squirrel was quite funny.
Oh.
So they voted that in as the name of the cat. So when I got to the shelter, I said to the woman, I want the one in the second cage, and she's like, "Man, there's 700 cages in here. What do you mean the second cage?" She's like, "You got to go get the little card off the back of the cage." So I went back and took the card off, and the name of the cat at the facility was Squirrel. So
Oh.
it seemed destined, but then come to find out a year and some
Why
change
did they
later.
choose the name Squirrel in the first place?
Well, the cat liked to climb anything that it could get near.
Oh.
People in a really big way. Like when they went to get Squirrel out of the cage, she got onto me, and there was just no getting her. Like she crawled under the arm, up the back. She definitely didn't want any part of anyone trying to corral her. She was there were squirrel-like qualities to the whole thing. And
Do
I'm
you
not kidding you.
know?
They were so happy when that cat was gone. The woman even said to me, she said, "This cat's a handful." She's
Yeah.
just loud. She just never
But
stops
you were
meowing.
like, I'm down for the challenge.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sounds about right. I think I mentioned to you my theory about men and cats,
You
like
you
single men and
have
cats.
you have.
It's not a bad theory, just so everybody knows. It's a good one. But I have had a lot of friends over my life
How
who have had the cats.
and it's played out through that entire time. The Kim Milan says, "I had a cat that I raised since 1 day old, and he adopted a foster puppy. He bonded so much we could not give the puppy away." How cool is that?
That's really
I love the interplay between cats and dogs when they get along. I used to babysit for a neighbor when I was in Nevada that had a massive golden retriever, just like it has to be 150 pounds, a female. It's just one of the nicest animals alive, too. An old golden retriever named Georgie, who just loved me. And Squirrel just didn't care. Like I was really tripped out because we were bringing in this huge dog, and Squirrel had never been anywhere near a dog of any kind. And that, as I'm house sitting for this dog, my sister came into town for Christmas with 2 others. And honestly, Squirrel didn't care. It was just one of those. I mean, she didn't, she wasn't laying down with them, but she just sort of walked by, went to the food like, meh. She didn't seem to be too bothered by the dog thing.
I'm not sure why I seem to keep freezing. Can you still hear me?
I can.
Sometimes I wonder if it's not the internet and it's the fact that I talk about the Church of Scientology, and so do you, and they hate us.
I have been known to run into to trouble with anything technology related. Usually, if I'm within a quarter of a mile away, that may have something to do with it.
I don't think it's you. I think it's actually I've had phone jammers and things been practiced lately on my.
When I was at the event, I think 3 days ago, I was talking with some people who, just had every bit of equipment you could ever need to go and look for that, because it's a real thing. It really is. It's a frightening. There you go.
Hey.
She's back. It's a that's a real thing, to be sure. It's a frightening organization.
Yeah, no, it has been going on. Fair game is documented as a thing. It's not a curiosity as much as it is just like a fact that they do mess with people's technology. And so I'm trying to just get everything secured around here, and the internet, and all the things that you need when you're dealing with like cyber people who know how to get into people's emails and things like that. It's pretty frustrating, but I appreciate you for showing up at the protest with us and just being there even though you didn't have to, and that was really cool. And I know a lot of my friends felt supported because you were there, and just having that, that person just looking over, make sure nothing's going wrong. It kind of just makes the survivors, more comfortable.
It was it's always an honor to be anywhere near them. It's a very courageous group of people. And I mean everybody there, but obviously the Jane Does being there too was really, really cool.
That was incredible. They're so inspiring.
Yeah. It was well, for you it's more of a family reunion, but more of a homecoming, I guess. But it was
very weird
nice
being on that block, that's for sure. But it was really, really a trip to be able to also hear it from other people's eyes. I'm walking down the street that I grew up on. I'm not feeling the same ways other people are feeling. I want to hear what's going on, and eye set, you know?
Well, I don't know that the filming really did it justice, but if you walked out of Vanessa's front door and you walked 50 feet, 55 feet, right? You're on the grounds of the Celebrity Center. It is, you could not get any closer to it without without being on the opposite side of the street. It's as close as you could get to that building.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a trip. How many places there were just like it too? You know what I mean? It was like
What do
they're
you
dotted.
mean?
I mean, there were, I must have counted a dozen or 2 dozen little small apartment buildings. Well, not super small, but I mean, not massive apartment complexes either. Like the size of the one that you were talking about, the
Yeah.
one
You've
H,
seen,
1 1 or 1
I think have you ever seen my friend Julio on my channel?
Yeah.
Okay, so he grew up right next, not grew up. In his 20s, he had an apartment, and the one directly next to the Shangri Lodge where we lived. And then it's also Elliott Smith's girlfriend lived at the end. Like, Juliette Lewis's mom also lived across the street. So there were quite a few places around there that people just popped in on. Like, there were just all apartment buildings that we all lived in, but they were not owned by Scientology per se.
Right.
Because we were
But
public.
a lot of
You know,
Scientology-
we weren't Sea Org members. We went to normal jobs, and some people went to not normal, but not in the Sea Org. Like we had cars, and we went to normal things. So it was cool for you to be able to see all those apartments, and those are still there being rented. I laughed because I saw a listing. This is when we were in the 90s. This was like, people would be like, oh, you live at the Shang? Because it was a big party for all the kids. And pets were not allowed.
Oh, no.
But there were rampant feral children running around just trying to have fun. And it was fun, to be honest. But the joke was that there was always cockroaches. So now I look, because it's Hollywood. We're on the side of the 101 freeway. Like, I remember seeing a car fly over that wall one day in front of Celebrity Center at the Chateau Elise. But they literally have it on, I don't know, West Side Rentals or something for like $2,500 or something for a 1-bedroom. So it's kind of comedy that's we in our heads we think of it as like the Shangri-La, like how ghetto can you be? But you can't really. It's not ghetto. It's nice now.
You're right in downtown. I mean, you couldn't be more Hollywood.
Actually,
right?
Hollywood. It's Hollywood proper. So right where the tourist attractions are, we're about 15 minutes from downtown, but on the Hollywood Strip, the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and the Chateau Elise was an incredible hotel for old Hollywood before it was purchased by L. Ron Hubbard.
And the hotel we were the first night we all met, that hotel was on
the Roosevelt.
The Roosevelt. There you go.
Yeah, I love that hotel.
That is a really classic old building.
It's so cool. It's so cool. And they allow dogs. So I had a graduation party there last year. I graduated from Cal State Long Beach with a degree in psychology, a bachelor's. Yeah, thank you. And I had a party there. And I had all my friends come out. And we brought 4 dogs to the pool. And we had a freaking blast. And I love when hotels are pet friendly because I don't have to leave my fur children.
Maybe that's what happened. It was the Shangri experience with no animals. Right, the hangover. When you got out of that, you were like, "That's it."
Oh, when I got my first
everybody
dog,
back
it
off.
was life changing. Her name was Crystal Lynn Anita LaRose. Of course, I named her.
I'm sorry. Could you give us that one more time?
Crystal Lynn Anita LaRose.
Okay.
But that came after all of the cats. Melissa with a U, specifically, Jezebel, and Cheryl Blossom from Archie, as well as Joey, and then the rabbits, because I was not allowed to have dogs. They tried everything. I had a whole hamster crowd and mice of like Archie, named after Archie characters and stuff. So
what's with the U in Melissa?
It's a great question. Thank you for asking. I guess one day, so my parents used to be offended, and this is very telling if you want to get all Freudian about it. But when I would go take flights to Florida to spend some time with my grandparents, I would send cards, like postcards home. And I guess one time I sent a postcard home to my dogs that was just filled with love. Like, I love you. I miss you so, so, so much. I don't even remember doing this. Like, I can't wait to be back with you. And it was to Crystal and Melissa with a U. And then I guess I also sent one. Hi, Mom and Dad. I guess I'll see you soon. Bye. Love, Vanessa.
Nice.
And they never let me forget that. Like, oh. So clearly I've had a really unconditional love bond with my babies forever. But my parents just let me have it. I wrote it that way, I guess, one time. And they said, would you like that to be her name since that's your cat? And I said, yes, with a U.
Nice.
You
Perfect.
know, we like to do things our way sometimes.
No. It makes perfect sense. In my family, there's a story that gets told again and again and again where so apparently I stole a kitten as a kid from close family friends that lived a really long way away. My parents had driven to their house, but all they did was talk about how much they didn't like this kitten and how they were bummed out that they had it. So I took it outside and put it in the car, and the cat began to make some noise about, I don't know, 2 hours and 45 minutes into the trip. The cat started to meow a little bit, and so we had to take it home for a few days, and they had to come and get it.
Oh,
no one was particularly happy with me, but
you know what? A little secret rescue lady trick, little wisdom. Not sure why. Bruno Mars specifically, and it has been a trick ever since. My friend who I do rescue with, who I really respect, she works in the music industry. She's a power lady, and I never would have met her if we didn't just have the same heart for dogs. Mm-hmm. She specifically pulls up to my house with Bruno Mars upon meeting him and says, look, this dog needs slow rap. I told her about the music trick. Like, sometimes if you're on a long road trip, the cats like the music, and they'll be quiet and they'll stop. Like, it's okay. They'll stop like meowing or whatever. And then the dogs, though, they also like the music. But Bruno specifically, slow rap, very specific. He doesn't
look like a Bruno Mars to me.
He doesn't look like a Bruno Mars to me either.
He kind of looks like Bruno Kirby a little bit. There was an actor that old people
go,
I know who you're talking about. Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah, that's a good one. Stella is Stella McCartney. Lexi is Alexis Carrington from AbFab.
Yes.
I didn't name Stella McCartney. She was actually named after a litter of fashion designers, but I'm a huge Beatles and Paul McCartney fan, so it's just fate.
Perfect.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I wish you could see how
this is the general consensus.
I love that dog. Good. He needs love. Don't bite me.
You know what, Miss B? Don't give up just yet on the bats. You know what I mean? I mean, you're saying you couldn't have one as a pet. It does not mean, right? Until you give it a shot, you never know. I would go with a fruit bat, but that's just me.
Yeah.
No, you know what? There are a lot of pets that I love that I could never own. You know what I mean? And I think that it's probably a really good idea to think about things like that before you get them. You know,
for sure.
Like every time they come out with a movie that has a really cute, whatever kind of dog, that breeds in trouble. Right, because
100%. We're going through that with Belgian Malinois right now, and because they put a movie out and everybody thought, oh, that's cool, I want that dog, and now they're in the shelter and they're really high. Like, you really need to treat this dog right. It needs a lot of exercise, it needs a lot of training, and so now everybody adopted a puppy and then they don't want it, and then they end up in the shelter, and it's really sad.
Yeah, and
it's really sad. Please,
that's an issue with a lot of dogs, right? You have to know what kind of dog you're getting, right?
Yeah, that's why it's really cool actually to foster, because we have foster to adopt programs. So if all we need is a space. Like, city shelters have this everywhere, where all they need is a space. And if you can just get to know the dog. So the cool part about adopting from a rescue is that you get to hear notes on it. Like, this is what Elvis is like. And maybe we want to make sure that it works for everybody. We want to make sure, because when we get these dogs off death row and out of these situations, we're making a promise they're never going to have a hard life again. And that's from the whole team. So we don't just adopt a dog out. Like, no, if a dog shows up, and this has happened many times in another state, which I'd say many, that's not true. It's about 4 times because we're really, really good at picking families,
Right.
But if there's something that happens where a dog in our state or another, if they ever get turned in to a shelter, we know about it. We're back up because we're going to go get that dog no matter where they are, because that's
I
our
love
dog.
that. God, I love
Yeah,
that.
it's in our adoption contract too that they need to surrender their dog to us before ever bringing it to a shelter, because that's the promise that we've made to every single one of these dogs. I have, I don't know,
Off death row.
over 100 dogs that could possibly show up at my doorstep at any time, and I would welcome them right back. But their parents will never let them go now. They all have their own Instagrams. They're all like the little celebrities I really wanted them to be loved for, and it's pretty beautiful.
Yeah. I think you would. Elvis is one of those dogs that, if Elvis ever got put on the adoption market, there would be fistfights, right?
I started him a little TikTok early on because I wanted just an easy way to make the editing for his videos, and then I thought maybe people want to see this dog, and it got so blown up so quick I couldn't even keep, like, I was like, I gotta just do my life and make sure this dog gets to the vet. Like, I can't be doing this TikTok, but
If there was a central casting for dogs, though, I mean,
yeah.
honestly, he's got
Well,
sort of, he's got the one eye that's just slightly got the milky.
Come here, baby. Come here. We get the Santa's Brokens, so I'm so used to like having these really cool, unique dogs. We've got some of them on these like beer bottles or campaigns. We had one go viral, over 1 million views for our dog
Wow.
Thor. Yeah, so we had a dog who we did water therapy with, and he was in the streets of Mexico dragging himself. And a volunteer got him up. We spent years with him, and he was an incredible dog. He passed away recently, but he should have passed away that day on the street, and he didn't.
Right.
Lived a wonderful life with his family because of it. And it's just a challenge that we face. Kind of, we're out here doing the real work, and don't necessarily have the social media time or effort or want to be like promoting it. So sometimes other things get, taken.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. So anyway.
So yeah, Elvis is not going anywhere. I assume he's home.
It's not official, but I don't think he's going anywhere. Yeah. I don't think he could. He's kind of just partial to his foster mama now, but he is very loving. He could if I really wanted to let him go, but I think it would be harder for me now. Like, I do that with a lot of them, and just say, I'm gonna be sad, but I'll get over it. And with this one, I don't know.
That would be my problem. That would be my problem. Honestly, the first time that you told me you did that was my first thought was, there's no way I could do that. Every single animal I took, I'd be like, I'm not giving this thing up. You know what I mean? Seriously, I'm a sucker. I really am.
But that's the problem I have, because I'm a foster mentor, and we just don't have any homes available because everybody does what we call foster fails, and they end up failing at fostering, and they adopt.
Right.
But that's kind of the whole point, so I can't get mad at them. But I do always like the people who can kind of toughen it up for just the sake of, okay, I could keep a space in my home for any dog in an emergency, because let's be real, we get these calls all the time.
Or you just get a lot more land. Right?
Yeah,
get a really big property.
Crazy dog lady with a huge property. I mean, that's my fantasy.
Yeah, there you go.
However we make it happen, I think I've just been begging the universe for it for a long time. It will come. Hi, Elvis. Come here.
I have a feeling that there are a lot of foster fails. 2 kittens and 2 dogs. Good.
Yes.
For you. Good for you. Unconditional love is a beautiful thing. It really is. And there's just nothing, there aren't too many places you get it. Animals are are as faithful and loving as anything. It really is. It's remarkable. I don't know if I could at this point in my life live without one. For real.
Oh, I couldn't. My dogs have been. I told my brother on the phone yesterday. We experienced like a loss in our family recently, and I told him
I'm sorry.
Thank you. I told him that there have been times just going through everything that we went through with the church and losing some of our family members to the disconnection policy, which is similar to shunning. I told him straight up, there's been times when these dogs have been the actual reason, and like talking to my brother, that I just keep going because I can't leave my dogs. Like Stella would not be okay, right? So this is why our connection is so important, regardless of if it's with a human or a fur baby. We got to have some kind of motivation to keep going, especially for anybody dealing with like addiction struggles, mental health struggles, all of it.
In the state prison I was in, they had a dog program. Sadly, it was a really small dog program, but I don't think there was a human being on the yard that was not on a waiting list for that. I mean, I'm not even being funny.
Yeah.
There were like 1,400 people there. I don't think there was any that were not on the waiting list, and they had 4 dogs, and you had to live in one specific unit, and it happened to be the same unit that they used for the drug therapy. Yeah. Right. So they're like one little wing. So these dogs were in and out all the time, and it changes the entire dynamic of the unit. I mean, you bring an animal in and everybody just changes. Like, these guys that are just hard as hell, guys that you watch walking around the yard, just scowling all day long and pumping iron, just like melt and get down on the floor and play with them. It's, if you've never seen it, it really is.
I would love to get more active in that. There's been, it's been hard for us because there's every cool thing, people try to make it into a not cool thing because of whatever, and it sucks because there are obviously risks of putting beautiful animals with people who may possibly be violent, and it did happen, and it was all over the news, and but of all of it, I think it's happened one time, right. or I don't know that, but I've only heard of it really rare, like really rare. So it's kind of a thing that is really worth, the benefit of everybody, in my opinion.
I agree with you. There was a prison in Nevada called NSP that had a door to the outside that used to remain open, and cats would just come in. And I mean, everybody had cats. Like, it was such a thing that they actually sold these little like disposable litter trays on Star, so you could just like pull the thing off of it and the cats could use these. And they got a new warden in, and the warden's like, the door's getting shut and the cats are gone. And these guys went postal. I mean, postal. They had taken away music instruments. They had done all of these things, but when they got to the cat part,
me, that's cruel. I mean, you have to have love. That's the denial of companionship.
Yeah. But they got up on a Friday morning and not one person went to work. And in prisons, when no inmate goes to work, nothing happens because they cook the food, they do everything. And
it was like a government shutdown.
Yeah, they bring in the National Guard. Like, they get really, really dicey when these things happen because normally there's not enough organization, and most guys bail on it. But the cats were a real big deal. Wow. Like, the fellas were pretty serious about getting cats.
Random cats that wandered onto.
They were yard? Most of them started out feral. But the guys put out food, and it's amazing because it takes a really long time for them to earn the trust of these animals. But these guys got a long time, like that's what they've got. Yeah.
They got the time. Why wouldn't we access that and help?
They're happy to pay for the food for them. You know what I mean? But the warden was a woman, but she tapped out. It's about it went on for a couple of days, and she was just like, open the door, let the cats back, do whatever they want.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. These guys were going to go hard until they got it. I mean, honestly, it really is a thing. The fellas, if you're in an environment like that and you get attached to an animal, it's a really horrendous thing.
What do you think? What symptoms of addiction or PTSD would that kind of comfort help with in there?
Everything. I mean, I don't think that there's anybody in prison, at least if you're on, I guess there are prisons out there that are different. I never did a camp I never did any of those super low custody level institutions, but at the higher institution, every single person there has got PTSD. There's nobody that doesn't. It's just one of those things that there's too many bad things that go on a daily basis.
Well, I was just looking at the definition of PTSD before we pulled up, and literally was like, it's just so. It's basically if you witness a threat or a crime or a violent incident or trauma, and you feel threatened or you are worried for your life. I mean, how do we not have that? Hi, Johnny. How do we not have that when you're in prison? Like,
No,
of
every
course
single.
you're afraid for your life in prison.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like you could die at any second.
It's the nature of the stay. Even if you're on the top end of that food chain and not the bottom end of that food chain, you're just still surrounded by violence and air quotes politics, which really just means people hurting each other.
Well, I think it's so fascinating. You lived in a separate world. I lived in a separate world as well, and we all had our own terminology. So it's fascinating to hear what's a crossover as well. I wanted to ask if you knew the definition of squirrel actually in our culture.
I think I know it. Isn't it somebody that uses the technology improperly? Like they're trying to do it, but they're not doing it right.
Yeah, and maliciously. They know they're a squirrel.
Oh, I got you.
It's not like
good
intent. It's definitely not cool.
Okay.
Like it's definitely almost a slur.
Like somebody that got a hold of an e-machine and just screws around with it.
Yeah, something like that would be considered a squirrel. So you're using the technology in a kind of unsanctioned way because you're not using it as a part of the official Church of Scientology, which has been entrusted to keep the tech, allegedly. So
right.
Yeah, and then squirrels are like, so growing up, I always heard, oh, they're squirrels. Like it was a slur. Or when you say, oh, she's with a squirrel group now. And you're like, oh, so they know about the tech and they chose to pervert it.
Good Lord, no.
Yes. It's funny, right? That's like your cat's all innocent over there just like squirreling around and we're having all these weird meanings.
What's funny is I know somebody that may have played around with one of those once. I know somebody that bought one once.
What?
An e-machine.
What?
Yeah.
How did they even get their hands on it? Because they're actually really like protected and certified.
Got it on eBay.
Nice. How much?
$600.
And it worked even?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it worked.
I mean, you don't know if it. That's the thing. Is the only people who can service it. He
would be a squirrel, right? So he wouldn't know anyway. Just.
Yeah, I don't know. You tell me.
That's funny as heck. It really is. Gavin DeBecker told a great story about pets being introduced to prisons for pets.
Oh.
There's an idea. Let's get prison animals for the incarcerated.
I really
animals.
follow a lot of those Instagram prisoner accounts and stuff. I think they're really cool for the dog therapy.
It's an amazing thing, and it softens the hearts of people. And it shouldn't be a freaking shock. You know what I mean? Like this to me seems to be something that should just jump off the page at being really, really obvious. And maybe really do make the vetting process something that is vicious. I mean, the prison that we were at, good Lord, the vetting was just. I mean,
oh really?
Yeah, they had four dogs, and the list of things that you had to be able to check off to even be eligible. One was it was either 2 or 3 years without a write-up, right?
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so they want people that have already demonstrated that they're not flying off the handle, that they're not doing stupid things, and they just keep going down the list. And there are people that probably shouldn't be around anything that is vulnerable, but that's probably more on the people.
My heart just goes always to the protection of the dogs. I unfortunately have the experience of being the one who gets sent every time we get to go rescue someone. Sometimes I get to go with a get 3 dogs order, and I'm the one who kind of walks around. So y'all having that experience behind the bars of kind of waiting and wondering. And for me, those dogs at one point were a puppy who ended up thinking that they may have disappointed their family one too many times by the family not training them correctly, by them barking because they're dogs, or all sorts of things that we try to encourage from day one, so that if you just have a little bit of responsibility being a pet owner and you like train your pets and stuff. But to see those faces, I walk through the kennels and I say, you're coming and you're not. And it really is hard. And most people don't want to do that. And that's my point, is that somebody has to. So,
my hat's off to you for real. That's heroic stuff. I just know I'm way too much of a wimp.
But you're not, because I'm just comparing the experience to how it was as a prisoner. I mean, it's almost like, not that the dogs are the prisoners, but when you're behind bars, you're behind bars. And I feel that maybe it's like not that cool to fucking sit there and wonder what you did wrong. And it's a little bit of a heart wrench. But when people can step up to the plate and do the stuff that needs to be done and go and make those choices, you're coming with me. I'm going to post something on Instagram and hope that somebody else comes to get you. I mean, that's hard stuff, but
it's beautiful stuff.
I hope more people can go do it, is my point. Is like, please, the dogs need it. They need you to face the reality instead of just keep buying puppies.
No more puppy.
No more puppy milk.
Or kittens, for that matter.
We deal with... I lost a really beautiful foster last year who passed away because he had a heart condition, and it was because of a backyard breeder that we ended up with him. It was like beautiful, purebred puppies, and he ended up dying on the table. And it was a dog who I called Jonah. It was so cute, but this is directly because humans decided to make a quick buck by breeding a purebred. And, it's a cool idea. It's just something for me to do. And it's not a cool idea. There's plenty of dogs in the shelter. So that's my service message for today.
I'm glad that you made it. And the other thing is find out what kind of animal you're getting. You know what I mean? Don't get something that is... I've told the story on the Lifeboat many times, but I lived in Texas for a period of time, and I wanted more than anything in the entire world to adopt a greyhound. First of all, it's impossible, right? The program that they've got down there, when they adopt out every dog, they've got this
Greyhounds are
the
awesome.
kennels are glass, right? So they in order to build it, they wanted it to be the most humane facility in the world. But I went down and thought, I'm going to hook this dog up. And it was the same kind of thing. They were like, we got a 4-year waiting list. You need 6 acres, right? You don't have 6 acres, you're out. Right? And I wasn't anywhere near 6 acres, but they're like, these dogs need to run. You need to.
No.
And
one of my best friends has a greyhound that came from a
dogs.
market where they were selling her because in another country, and they make gelatin capsules out of the greyhounds. And it actually is a horrible thing. The dog meat market is something I would love to be out there protesting, because this is real. I mean, we can sit in America and be like, we do a lot for dog rescue and pat ourselves on the back, but people are still doing this and selling the dogs in the markets and the Yulin Meat Market Festival. And there's a lot of things sad out there. But that being said, the greyhound is one of those dogs that actually comes over a lot from other countries from being rescued. So maybe there isn't a waiting list if we know the right people.
They're really cool animals. I had a friend that was actually able to do it. He was a greenskeeper at a golf course, and he had one. And the thing really, this particular dog acted so much more like a cat. Like you've never seen a dog that acted more like a cat. And
Stella identifies as a cat. She prefers kitty because she grew up with a kitten when she was a puppy, and they cuddled her.
She identifies as a cat.
She answers to kitty, actually.
Okay.
She identifies
Checks out.
as a cat. She's a dog, but she identifies as a cat, so that's how we respect
makes
her.
Perfect sense to me.
She acts like one. If you've ever seen her behave, she really is like a little sassy thing, but she runs all these dogs. I mean, she's tiny and she stays in her cage, and cave under the blankets.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
I try to sound normal, like she has a cage. She has no cage. She runs this entire show.
My cheerleader was one of those dogs that at all times wanted to be underneath a blanket. Like that was just that made that dog happier than anything.
They burrow. They like to burrow. And
yes, I like to burrow, exactly. And the other thing that was funny was I had a little blanket for this dog that was maybe 3 feet by 3 feet, and she would take her little squeaky toy thing and drop it in the center of it, and then she would pull all of the corners in. Right, like she would get it so that it was stuck in there, and then she would freak out until she could get it out, and she would spread it back out, put the thing back on there. And like methodical as hell. I had it on tape. Unfortunately, that phone was confiscated by the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't get to keep that phone. I had a lot of really cool dog videos on that phone. But
you're just a mix of all things, aren't you?
Yes, sadly.
I mean, I spend a lot of time watching Investigative Discovery Channel. I've seen every episode of Forensic Files, so there's maybe a lot of...
nobody here that doesn't watch that, I promise you.
Oh, well, I'm right at home with my friends then. Dog Rescue and Forensic Files, Unsolved Mysteries, Robert Stack. If you ask me my favorite host, that would be the answer. That version.
Yep. Checks out.
Have you
reissued?
Have you seen the new episodes with the update?
I have.
Well, that's my joy in life, and this dog.
That can't go wrong. You got to pick him up and put him down very, very quickly.
He's been right here. He's just off camera. I've been petting him, but he's like you guys only see him when he creates a fuss. So.
Witness says FOIA requested. There you go.
Oh. You know what? I just watched a video before this that said YouTube has a thing now where if we say, if you like the channel and if you subscribe to the channel, something's supposed to come up on the bottom where it shows you how to like and subscribe to the gray zone. And then if you hit it, it's supposed to be a little sparkle thing, which I've never tried, and I wondered if it works.
If this is just a plan to get people to hit subscribe, it's an excellent one.
It's actually not, but it could be from TubeBuddy, because that was the tutorial I was watching. But it's supposed to be, you know how gambling addiction works, where you get a little hit of dopamine when you get a heart, or whatever.
Suspense reward.
Yeah. The reward system in the brain is really hijacked with all of this sometimes, especially with this technology thing. But I figured we might try to use it because we're doing something good here. So if everybody...
It's a great idea. Yeah, it really is.
If anybody sees that, let us know, though, because it literally said YouTube's supposed to go through it and do that if you say it. And it only works like once every 4 minutes or something. So we'll see.
Well, you know something? I'm not kidding you at all. You could take the number of times that I have said, hit the subscribe button. I'm so bad at this, right? Like Johnny, I don't know if he still does it. It used to just be part of his deal, right? At the beginning and the end.
That's why we're an hour and 3 minutes in and have not said that one time.
Right. But you know something, people? The sad thing is this. About 60% of my views come from people who have never hit subscribe, right? We won't tell your
mine are even higher. Dope. Mine are higher because they can't be caught watching my channel by Scientology.
Oh, well, that makes perfect sense, though. I mean, you're a suppressive person.
Well, I mean, you're not, but actually now you are after the weekend.
Yeah, right.
To be honest, you're official for sure. You were there.
That girl with the eyes that came up and took my picture, I'm pretty sure got that message.
What do you mean that girl with the eyes?
There was a girl with dark hair and very wide open eyes.
Oh, was it the lady who had things on with the professional camera towards the end who came up? I think I know who you're talking about.
That one did the exact same thing.
Oh, because
I was talking about one that had a phone and just but I know who you're talking about. The one that had the socks.
Video was actually released yesterday. A woman put out a video where she had gone and taken a bunch of photos. But it was so freaking odd because every single one I had seen of that day, you were in every picture or whatever. And in this specific video, you were not in a single one. It was so freaking bizarre. You were in like a crowd, like a whatever. But I was like, that is so weird because Tommy like couldn't be missed there because you were over there guarding everybody on the lives, all this stuff. And it was just a funny thing. I was like, wait, that lady got really great photos. Some of them, were really cool. And it was just an interesting thing.
Tall and bald, they usually do stick out. Hello, Gregory Smith. Good to see you.
Tall and bald. Just our type. Hi, Elvis.
You know what? This is
I think
kind of
that's a
funny because
yes.
yes, that is definitely a yes. My dad said when Casper, their greyhound, wanted to run, he'd go onto a backcountry road in his convertible and hold the leash out the window and let Casper run alongside because he was so fast. My friend who worked at the golf course, he used to go out there at about 5 a.m. to start doing his shift, and they had a Cushman three-wheeled cart that would go about 40 miles an hour. And that dog would sit and wait for him to come out with that cart just vibrating, like so damn excited. And he would come out and call the dog and it would just sprint after that thing. And yeah, it was wild to watch him run. They're really beautiful, beautiful animals. And you know something? We did this 1 hour and 5 minutes. You're not going to believe me when I tell you why I am. Yeah, you might. But believe it or not, people, there are individuals out there that want to talk about to talk to the Scoville brothers concerning the heat of specific peppers. As silly as that might sound, this is becoming a thing.
I mean, the Scoville scale. Is that a surprise?
Yes,
You want to
well,
talk to the Scoville brothers?
my clever brother chose wisely. He did good with the name choice, to be sure.
Well, your brother's pretty smart.
Yeah, he's all right. He's not too bad. We definitely need to see Elvis.
I know he's.
Yeah, there you go. I knew you were getting the no one tuned in to see either of us.
Tonight he will be on his live.
And that is on the Gray Zone.
Yeah, I'm going to set it up. He's going to be streaming for all his fans. And then when you wake up, and it's called Sleeping with Elvis. It's like you just let it stream while you sleep, and you have your own emotional support growly chihuahua who makes
and you don't
really
have to feed him.
Cute sounds and goes like this on his heating pad. So
yep.
Yeah, you don't even have to feed him. You don't have to give him water. You don't even have to get bit by him. It's just
exactly
like provided.
None of the drawbacks. Just the fun of watching him when he's really
My
really
channel's
happy.
called The Gray Zone with Vanessa LaRose, and I also have another channel called The Degraded Daughters of Dianetics, and that's with my partner Alicia. Her and I were both born in and disconnected from our parents, family lives from Scientology. So we've both started speaking up in the last 6 months. Her and I are still doing things on the weekends, and together we have incredible people who are coming forward, who are speaking all the time on the channel. And then the Gray Zone for me is just kind of my own outlet to deal with all this kind of stuff and talk about mental health and dogs and all the things in between the black and white stuff. So hopefully we can see you guys over there.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, if you haven't gone over and hit the subscribe button, people, you need to.
Thank you, Witness.
The local community. And if you're watching the Lifeboat, you have not hit subscribe. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, then hit the bell for notifications. Every time we go live,
I also saw Sandy in there. Thank you, Sandy, for stopping by. I made sure that a member of our tribe got a special gift that you had delivered. So those photos will be sent your way soon. I love that we're able to connect and just get each other resources. It's really, really cool.
The power of social media when it is a good thing, eh?
Yeah.
Elvis is awesome. But, you know what? I might just leave it with that.
Yeah.
How's that?
I know you got some interview to do about pepper heat or something.
I do have some interview to do about pepper heat or something.
Or something. All right.
Or at least, yeah.
This pepper is pretty spicy. I don't know. He might win the whole.
That really is a particularly spicy animal. And
it's a very spicy.
Wow, he's not even growling.
He kind of loving purr.
Yes, that's a purr. That really is more of a purr. Alrighty, people. I will be back on the Lifeboat at 5 o'clock doing the normal voodoo that we do here on the boat. Vanessa, thank you. It is a honor.
Thanks for joining me too, Tommy. It's been like streaming on our channel the whole time. We're just like so excited to actually have talks to have you back and just maybe do something like insightful from time to time. It's really cool to connect the dots.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on, and I look forward to having you on again where we can let you talk about what you've studied, because it really is very much in line with what we do here. So think about it. We'd love to have you back. All right. Thanks, everybody, and I will see you tonight on the boat. I'm Captain Tommy, and the cat is nowhere to be seen. Here we go.
Bye, cat. Oh, because the dogs are barking, probably.
Stunt squirrel. Yeah, that could be.
She's having her own PTSD from dogs.
It would not surprise me in the slightest. See you on the other side, everybody. God bless.
Bye.
Bye-bye.